Nnamdi Kanu got angry in the court few hours ago. If you should see the countenance on the face of this man was very, very angry with the judge and with the DSS officials. You know, he even got to a level that Nnamdi Kanu was trying to move closer to the judge, but the DSS official actually distracted him and stand on his way. And Nnamdi Kanu faced the DSS official one-on-one. He said if he did not leave the way for him, he will regret what he will do to him and all of that. Come and see the anger in the eyes of this man. This man is already frustrated. Let me play the full video for you to see things the way it goes. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video as watching it, just want to share it. Share to different social media platforms. Let it go viral, and if you can share it, just like the video, like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. See what really transpired, because so when I come back, I will tell you the full details of what really go on in the court few hours ago. We got all the information. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG Watch TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now. It makes sense with LAJUPOG.
Your constitution says you cannot try anybody unless the law is written. Show me written law. Show me written law. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't try rubbish. Don't try rubbish. Useless people. You don't know law. You don't know law. Your own constitution you don't respect. You don't follow to judgment you don't respect. That's why we the court of law.
You can see the way Nnamdi Kanu was actually angry in the court. This man have never been angry in the court that way. You know, it's not easy for someone to be witnessing trial every day, almost every day. They kept him in detention. They refused to allow him to go, and yet they slowed down his trial even to the extent that he sacked all his lawyers. He said no, he will be defending himself right from time and all of that. He said he don't want any lawyer to defend him again at all. Now you can see the way Nnamdi Kanu actually fought in the court. What really transpired in the court was the judge already told Nnamdi Kanu before to defend himself. That was yesterday and even the day before. He said Nnamdi Kanu should defend himself, but Nnamdi Kanu keeps saying that he got nothing to defend. Even the judge was telling him, he said, read all the petition that was leveraged against you, read all your charges and all your allegations so that we'll know what to discuss. And Nnamdi Kanu said he did not do anything wrong, that he did not have anything to read out to the judge. So the judge actually was feeling like maybe Nnamdi Kanu was sounding so rude to him and all of that and blah blah blah. But a lot of people did not know that all these things are coming from the frustration that this man had been going through in the DSS detention and DSS facility. So Nnamdi Kanu refused to read out anything. He refused to read anything to the judge. And now the judge made a statement yesterday. He made it known that if Nnamdi Kanu should come to the court today and Nnamdi Kanu refused to say anything, that what he will utter as judgment to Nnamdi Kanu today, that Nnamdi Kanu will not like it, that Nnamdi Kanu may be sent to jail. Even so, Were came out and made known to the general public yesterday. He said the plan towards Nnamdi Kanu is to ensure that they keep Nnamdi Kanu in detention, or they sent him on life imprisonment or sentenced by death and all of that. He said that's the plan that they have towards Nnamdi Kanu. Now you can see what happened in court few hours ago. The same DSS that Nnamdi Kanu actually alleged, and the lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu came out to speak few days ago, that they tried to put him in detention. Those are the DSS of it. Those are part of the DSS officer that were trying to bully him in the court. They trying to intimidate him in the court. You can see the way he actually fight back at them. He said they should not dare to touch him. So I'd like guys to stay connected to the end of the video. If you can share the video, just do what to share it. Share to different social media platforms. Share to groups. Let a lot of people get to know what is really going on as far as this Nnamdi Kanu case is concerned. Now we'll leave you to watch the entire remains of the video for you to see everything the way it goes. Just stay connected. Hear things for yourself. I'll come back again.
Today's court proceedings were nothing short of dramatic. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, took his fight in court to a whole new level. He presented a motion in front of the trial judge, which, let's be real, was reluctantly accepted. Kanu's request was simple but powerful. He wanted the court to identify the law under which he was being tried. The thing is, every time he's raised this, the court has refused to clarify it, which makes you wonder, what are they hiding? Now things got heated when Kanu persisted, and the judge finally told him, go ahead, read the charges aloud. So Kanu did. And when he read those charges, something unbelievable happened. It became clear that the law they're trying him under doesn't even exist anymore. It's a non-existent law. Can you believe that? A whole trial based on a law that's no longer valid. That's got to raise some serious questions about the legitimacy of the whole process. The judge, understandably flustered, didn't take kindly to this, and instead of clearing things up, the judge just angrily scheduled a judgment date for November 20th. Yes, the case is being pushed forward, but is the law even valid? That's the question we should all be asking. If the foundation of the trial is shaky, can anything that follows really stand? This whole situation sheds light on a much bigger issue. If this case is about making an example of Kanu for his political beliefs, are we really getting justice? Or is this just about silencing dissent? Because let's be honest, this entire trial feels more like a political move than a legal process. It's a story that's bigger than just one man. It's about the freedom of expression, about the right to question authority, and about whether or not justice is actually being served. Now think about this. Why has it taken so long to bring clarity to the charges Kanu is facing? How can a whole legal system keep someone locked up under a law that isn't even in place? And let's talk about fairness here. How many other Nigerians are facing a similar situation but don't have the platform Kanu has to speak out? It's an eye-opener. If Kanu's right, this might be a pattern, and it makes you wonder how many others are getting caught up in legal technicalities. Let's get into the bigger picture for a second. This trial isn't just about Kanu. It's about the whole concept of justice in Nigeria. If the court can't even answer a simple question about the legal grounds for a trial, then what's happening behind the scenes? It makes you think, doesn't it? What if this is just one of many similar cases that the public never hears about? What if people are just being shuffled through the legal system without anyone ever questioning the foundation of the charges? There's also the question of political implications here. Kanu's trial has divided many people. On one side, you have those who believe Kanu is a hero, standing up for his people and his beliefs. On the other, there are those who see him as a threat to national unity. But no matter where you stand on the political spectrum, it's hard to ignore how the legal system is being used or misused in this case. Is Kanu being persecuted because of his political views? Or is this about upholding the law? If it's about upholding the law, shouldn't the law actually be clear? Shouldn't the charges be backed by a solid, existing law? What's really fascinating here is that Kanu isn't backing down. He's not just accepting what's being thrown at him. He's pushing for clarity, for fairness, and for transparency. And while it might look like he's playing the game by the book, he's actually challenging the system itself. He's forcing the court to confront its own flaws. And that's something that could have a ripple effect across the entire country. If the system fails to address this, it sends a message to everyone else in the legal system. You can get away with whatever you want as long as you've got the power to do so. And then, we have to consider the future of this case. November 20th is the day the judgment is expected to be delivered, and everyone's watching closely. Will the court finally acknowledge the inconsistencies in the charges, or will they continue to push forward with a trial that may not even be legal? If the judge upholds this trial without addressing the major concerns about its validity, it will only fuel the belief that the system is biased and broken. Now, imagine what this means for the public. This trial has become a flashpoint for people who feel that their rights are being trampled on. They see Kanu's case as bigger than just one individual. It represents a system that they believe is stacked against them, where the law is used as a weapon to silence voices of dissent. And the fear is, if Kanu can be tried under a non-existent law, who's next? What does that mean for ordinary people who don't have the same platform to speak out? It's all about trust, or the lack thereof. The public is watching, and they're not just watching Kanu's fate, they're watching the entire system. If the system fails Kanu, it fails everyone. It makes it harder for people to trust that the law will protect him, especially when it's clear that the rules are being bent or broken. And when trust in the system erodes, that's when things get really dangerous. People start to question everything, and that's how instability begins. But for now, we wait. We wait to see if Kanu gets his day in court. If the judge addresses the concerns about the law, or if it's all swept under the rug. The date is set for November 20th, and the pressure is on. Will justice be served? Or will the legal system continue to show cracks that can't be ignored? As we keep watching this unfold, it's important to keep asking the tough questions. Is this really about justice, or is it about something bigger? The world is watching, and whatever happens next will speak volumes about the state of law and justice in Nigeria. Whether you support Kanu or not, we all have to agree on one thing. The system needs to work for everyone, not just the powerful. As we're looking at this situation, it's hard to ignore the broader implications of this case. If the court refuses to acknowledge that Kanu is being tried under an invalid law, what does that say about the legal system as a whole? We often hear about how the system is flawed, but this trial seems to be a glaring example of what can go wrong when laws aren't followed properly. Think about it. This isn't just about Kanu. It's about setting a precedent. If the court lets this go through without addressing the fact that the law is no longer in effect, it could open the door for other high-profile cases to be mishandled in the same way. It could send a dangerous message that legal standards can be bent for the sake of convenience or political gain. And then there's the issue of accountability. Kanu's motion to clarify the charges highlights a deep concern about the lack of transparency in how cases are handled. If he can't even get a straightforward answer about the legal basis of his trial, how many others are out there being tried under questionable circumstances without the chance to challenge it? The implications for fair trials are massive. If the public sees that a well-known figure like Kanu can't even get clarity on his charges, what about the ordinary person who might not have the same resources or platform? There's also the angle of public perception. The fact that this trial has drawn so much attention, both domestically and internationally, shows just how much people care about the outcome. Whether you're for or against Kanu, this trial is seen as a test case for the Nigerian legal system. It's about whether the system can work fairly, whether justice can be dispensed without political interference, and whether the rights of every individual are respected under the law. Now, we know that Kanu is not the only person to have faced a trial that many would argue was politically motivated. But the fact that he's fighting back, challenging the legality of the charges, and demanding transparency is what makes this case so important. It's not just a fight for one man, but a battle for the rights of all Nigerians who may one day find themselves facing similar situations. But what happens when the system fails? Well, it's not just the individual who suffers, it's the entire country. When people lose faith in the justice system, they lose trust in the government, and that's when things can really start to unravel. People need to know that the law applies to everyone equally, regardless of their position, their wealth, or their political views. If they don't, then we're left with a system that only serves those who have power. And that's what makes Kanu's persistence so crucial. He's not just challenging the court, he's challenging the system itself. By forcing the court to address the issue of the law under which he's being tried, he's pushing for a system that is transparent, fair, and accountable. He's not just looking for his own freedom, he's looking for a change that can benefit everyone. The fact that he's sticking to his guns in this way is a testament to his belief in the importance of a fair trial. And whether you agree with him or not, that's something worth paying attention to. Now, when the judge sets a judgment date for November 20th, it's clear that the stakes are high. But the question remains, will the court address the legal flaws that Kanu has pointed out? Or will they ignore them and proceed as if nothing's wrong? If the court continues with the trial without addressing the core issue, the invalidity of the law, it could undermine its own credibility. It could further alienate those who already feel that the system is not working in their favor. In the meantime, it's important to keep in mind the role of public opinion. As the case moves forward, there will undoubtedly be debates and discussions, both in Nigeria and around the world. How the court handles this issue could shape how the world sees the Nigerian legal system moving forward. If the public feels like this case is being mishandled, it could lead to protests, public outcry, and a loss of trust in the courts. On the other hand, if the court addresses the concerns about the invalid law, it could help restore some confidence in the system and show that the law truly applies to everyone. As we wait for the judgment on November 20th, let's keep an eye on how this case plays out. Will Kanu's challenge be heard? Or will the court continue as if the charges are valid? Will this be a turning point for the Nigerian legal system? Or will it be another example of how the system fails those who question authority? One thing is for sure, the outcome of this case will have a lasting impact. Whether Kanu is found guilty or not, the real question is whether the legal system will be able to restore faith in its ability to deliver justice. If the court's actions are seen as fair and transparent, it could go a long way in rebuilding trust. But if the process is rushed or brushed aside, it could leave a permanent scar on the nation's legal system. So, as always, keep your eyes on this case. It's more than just the trial of one man, it's a critical moment for the rule of law in Nigeria. And no matter where you stand on the issue, it's something that we all need to pay attention to, because in the end, justice for one person is justice for all. Alright, that's the latest on the Nnamdi Kanu case.
Well, what happened in court today, for me, continues to be travesty of justice. I've always said it, that in Nigeria, there appear to be two sets of rules. One for the Igbo man and another for the other Nigerians. This is exactly what I saw in court today. First of all, my name is Honorable Obi Agocha. I represent the great people of Iguano, Umuahia North and Umuahia South Federal Constituency. I am the primary representative for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So I'm going to speak to you as a layman. I'm not a lawyer. Today, there was a motion that was filed. Previously, I believe at the end of October, another motion was filed. And none of those motions were challenged by the prosecution team. They didn't raise any objection. The court did not overrule anybody, but admitted the motion. So on what basis then is the trial, the efforts that are being put to compel Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to trial, when the motions have been put and yet to be challenged by the prosecution team? Mazi Kanu is asking for a simple question: on what law is he being tried? Neither the judge nor the prosecution team have answered that. And today, that motion that was raised by Nnamdi Kanu and served to the prosecution team were not challenged. And it's very, very critical and important that we know that. However, the judge now ruled to say that he's reserved November 20th for ruling. When there are jurisdictional issues, thresholds that are yet to be overcome. So this is a political trial veiled as a criminal trial. And for the stability of the Southeast and for the stability of Nigeria in a whole, to bring to end the civil war that was fought in 1967 means that the president should please look at the totality of Nnamdi Kanu's trial and bring an end to this charade, a travesty of injustice, bring an end to it so that the Southeast can be peaceful again, Nigeria can be peaceful again. But if they are determined in the way they have steamrolled this process, rushing to a judgment, then like Nnamdi Kanu says, there's a God in heaven, and the injustices that have been meted to Igbos, we will not forget. We will not forget. Even if we forget, our children and our grandchildren will not forget. Because it is important that everybody notes it, especially Mr. President, that in order for him to consolidate his goodwill for 2027, start with how he handles the matter of Nnamdi Kanu. Because you cannot be there as the father of the nation and Nnamdi Kanu is being treated in the manner that he's being treated when every other person who has been charged with almost similar offenses as Nnamdi Kanu, at the determination of the court, has been let go. So why is Nnamdi still being held down, being punished, being subjugated? Is simply because he's an Igbo man. So if we get it, the president gets this right, then we will begin the process of healing and reconciliation and putting back the Southeast back as a home where people can come and feel free in their homes without running away from all these high crime and criminalities that are happening in the Southeast. So Mr. President has an opportunity now. The world is looking at us, both from the persecution of Christians, from the persecution of Nnamdi Kanu, to know how we are going to, put our houses in order. But like I said, is one person. You can take Nnamdi Kanu if you so wish. You have the authority. But many more Nnamdi Kanu will rise because this is clearly an injustice that is being meted at one person who happens to be an Igbo man.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear everything that actually transpired in court today. A lot of people will just feel like Nnamdi Kanu is just this kind of a rude man that he's not worried of with the kind of support that people actually give it to him. It's not really like that. This man is already frustrated. How can someone, it have never happened in the history of any country before, how can someone be facing trial for more than 4 years? What's really going on? That's why Nnamdi Kanu came out in court and making known to the general public that his trial is political. That was what Nnamdi Kanu said a few years ago, and that was the reason why he got angry. He was already frustrated because they're making him to see hell. For him to come out to say that, his lawyers are not going to defend him again, that means he's already tired of the whole process. This man is engaging in DSS detention and all of that for the past 4 years. Do you know what it feels to be sleeping in DSS facility for years? Not even 48 hours, not even 1 week. People go there 1 week, they're already engaging in pain. How much more someone that will be there for years? Those are the questions a lot of people are actually asking. Now, they said the trial is political, according to what Nnamdi Kanu said. Nnamdi Kanu made it known, he said it's political. Now, the same politicians of Nigeria that actually negotiating with bandits in broad daylight, the same politicians of Nigeria that are actually negotiating with bandits and terrorists in broad daylight. Even Sheikh Gumi came out and making it known to the general public that the government should not poof the bandits. That even US that was trying to come and help Nigeria as far as Nigeria banditry and terrorism is concerned and all of that, said the US should not do anything possible to invade Nigeria, that they should not even come He said Nigerian government can handle it. That if Nigerian government should handle it, once they apprehend any of the bandits, that the bandits are open for negotiation. That's the bandit that have put a lot of people's life, have taken the life of a lot of people, that have made a lot of families to cry. That's the bandit that take the life of a lot of people in their villages, in their towns, and they occupy the entire village. Those are the people that they say that the government should not harm, or the government should not poof, that the government should not own their life, and that the government should continue to negotiate with them so that Nigerians can be living under the mercy of bandits. If they are not taking bandit matter to court, and the bandit matter of Nigeria is on negotiation, and they negotiate with them and all of that, what did Nnamdi Kanu do that make him to be worse than a bandit or a terrorist that have taken the life of a lot of people? How many people have Nnamdi Kanu taken his life? How many people, according to report with full evidence, have this Nnamdi Kanu taken his life? Why is his case different? Is Nnamdi Kanu worse than all those Boko Haram terrorists and all of that are taking the life of a lot of Nigerians day in and day out? As I'm even talking to you, it's even possible that they may be taking the life of some other people in different places in the northern part of Nigeria. And they said they should be negotiating with these people, but they can't negotiate the matter of Nnamdi Kanu that have not taken the life of anybody substantially. Now, what do you think is happening? Do you think the way Nnamdi Kanu actually captured the scenario, that this thing is actually political, according to what Nnamdi Kanu said? Do you think it's really political? Because for this man to actually burst out in court and challenge the judge and swear for the DSS officials, he said they should not even come near him, they should not come close to him. For this man should actually got angry and come out in that dimension, in that way. Do you think this man is having the joy? This man is not having the joy. But now, what really transpired in court today, the way I actually burst out on the judge and the DSS, he almost spoke finger in the nose of the judge and all of that. The way this thing actually transpired in court today, they will use it against him in court again. They will still use it against him in court. And where the thing is coming from is the fact that this man is frustrated. That was why he actually acted that way. They can be negotiating with bandits in Nigeria and they can't negotiate with this man. You should know that something is actually wrong. That's why Nnamdi Kanu is saying that he did not commit any offense. If the bandits are not committing any offense, according to them, because Nigerian government is actually freeing them and let them go in most cases and all of that, if the bandits are not committing any offense according to them, because they call them repentant, if their sins can be forgiven, what did Nnamdi Kanu do that cannot be forgiven? Drop a opinion in the comment section on this video. Feel free to say your mind in the comment section. As I'm gonna get another for you. Share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video and bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious cause plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, the pastor for LAJUPOG watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. All leader, why you with the church? All as LAJUPOG.